WGCV, WT86CT, KC Columbia, 620 AM, 96.3 and 105.1 FM.
We are back, and I have several people in studio, including Robert Harrelson, Director of Onstage Productions in West Columbia, who's here to talk about and introduce cast members of their latest offering, which opens this Friday. It's called Oz, Dorothy's Return, and it runs from this Friday through Sunday, July the 31st, through the end of the month. So, Robert, welcome back to Health, Wealth, and Happiness, and tell us a little bit about this production and who you've brought with you.
Thank you, Gary. Thanks for having us. Oz, Dorothy's Return. Dorothy actually goes back to Oz because there's trouble in Oz, and she also has trouble at home, and the Scarecrow needs her, so she ends up going back to Oz to help Oz once again. But what she doesn't realize is that time passes faster in Oz. In Oz, it's been almost 2 years since she's been there, but to Dorothy, it's been only 1 day. So,
I gotcha.
So she goes back and helps Oz, and I did bring with me today, which I'll let them tell you all about the story and who they play. I did bring Mia, who plays Dorothy, Mia Coates, Brianna Northcutt, who's a Munchkin, and Matthew Campbell, who are Munchkin in the show. So, if you don't mind, and a monkey. So, all right, I'll let you meet them and tell them about the show.
Well, I'm going to start with you since you played the role of Dorothy. You've been in a lot of productions with Robert. Is this your first lead?
Yes, it is.
I thought that it probably is. And you and I have been in some productions together. And so tell us about this, because I think there are two casts. And what's the difference between other roles that you played and playing the lead?
Well, I think that the other roles that I've played, there wasn't as many lines. And now that I'm the lead role, there are a lot of lines that I need to learn, but I still have a lot of fun doing it.
And certainly Oz is a story that everybody knows, even though this is a different take on it. Everybody knows all of the characters of Oz, regardless of how old they are. So not only the kids know it, but, the kids can't get to this production without their parents or grandparents or aunts or uncles. Somebody's got to bring them, but everybody knows all the characters, and that's a lot of fun.
Yes, it is, but there isn't only the old characters. There are some new characters that join the story.
And the way in which Dorothy gets to Oz this time is through the rainbow, kind of over the rainbow, which is a nice take on how she gets there. And the villain this time is not a wicked witch, but the wicked witch's brother.
Yes, it's an evil jester, and he's threatening the land of Oz.
Wow. So, does it have a happy ending?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And I bet Dorothy does go back to Kansas, because there's no place like home.
Of course he does.
That's a lot of fun. Well, now I'm going to turn to two younger members of the cast. And is this your first? Tell us who you are to begin with, and how old you are, and tell us about the role that you play.
My name is Brianna Northcutt, and I am a monkey, and I turn into a munchkin at the end, and I'm 10 years old.
So, on the one hand, you are kind of a villain because you're a monkey, because that's a bad character, but then at the end, you're a munchkin. That's a fun character.
Yes, well, we had it where, we were munchkins, but the jester turned us into monkeys.
Oh, I see. So you go from being a good person to a bad person and back to a good person at the end?
Yes, basically.
Nice. So is this your first experience at doing theater?
No, I've done a couple other plays, and it's a fun experiment.
Yeah, and do you sing in this show?
No, it's not really musical, so.
Okay. But a lot of kids and a lot of opportunity, because, one of the things that I think people sometimes overlook is that this is your summer. You're giving up your vacation, and your family has to give up your vacation to help you have fun doing this show.
Yes, but I don't think it's a waste of time. I think it's really fun and a way to spend your summer.
Okay. And you introduce yourself and tell us how old you are.
I am Matthew, and I'm 5 years old.
Wow. And so I bet this has really been a lot of fun for you.
Yes, it has.
And so you also have been a munchkin and a monkey?
Yeah.
Is this
Same with her. I was a munchkin first, and then the sister turned me into the monkey, and then at the end, I'm back into a munchkin.
I see. Are you in school yet?
Yes.
I see. And
Kindergarten, and I'm about to go in first grade.
Boy, I'll tell you what. And are you having fun doing this show? Has it been what you expected it would be?
Yes.
And you got to meet a lot of other kids?
Yes.
And you see that it requires a lot of work, but it can be a lot of fun. And so it's been a fun summer for you. Yeah, and you guys been working hard on this. So, Robert, how much time have the kids put in on this?
We've put in probably, I'd say, about a month and a half, possibly. But they've only been rehearsing about 2 days a week. So, and then we've been pulling them in for some character work too. But it's only been about 2 days a week for about a month.
So you wanted to make sure that the kids did have their summer and yet worked on this show as well.
Exactly. It's been very fun. These kids have had fun as I. So
now, did you write the show?
It's an adapted show from another one of Baum's books. So it's an adapted show.
And is it all children, or are there any adults?
It's all children in the show. We've got kids doing not only acting on stage, but we've got them also doing lights as well. We've got JoJo Wallace, who's actually doing lights, who has been with us for a while. And we've got kids backstage, helping out, with the stage managers, Carol Rabin and Tracy Campbell. But it's been a very fun experience, and they'll get a lot of, experiences that they wouldn't normally have gotten.
One of the things that the theater teaches the kids, it's not all about me, it's all about us. And I know one thing that Robert teaches is that it is about teamwork. And one of the things that he does that I don't know that any other director does, you make the kids tell you what they think their character is about and what contribution their character makes to the show, so that they have an understanding where they are in relationship to the show. Right.
I'm very big on character development. I think these kids have done a really good job. We've worked one-on-one. We've worked as a team. So I'm really proud of them. Very proud.
And let me add, having worked with Robert in the past, he doesn't do that with kids only. He does that with adults. You make adults tell you where they are in the show and what they think the character should be. And that's on a couple of levels, because you realize you don't have all the answers, and many times an actor will actually give you ideas about their character.
Absolutely.
And I think that adds to the total product. I think so oftentimes we look at an athletic team as the only team there is, but every theater production is a team effort.
True, very true. But the good thing about these kids is they've learned through all this process, and all of these kids have grown so much. And they, like you said, they've given me some great ideas, and we've added some of their ideas into the show to make it more kid friendly. Exactly, right, Brianna?
Right.
And one of the things that I think that it does in this situation is that it brings kids together that ordinarily wouldn't be together. When people say, well, what's the difference between this kind of play and a play at school? Well, at school, you're dealing with kids that you know because they're a part of your school, they're a part of your class. But this is different. You're dealing with kids that you ordinarily wouldn't know at all, right?
Right.
And so you get to meet kids that you probably have never known before.
Yes.
And I think that's an important part of what theater provides. It provides that opportunity. One of the things, Robert, I know that you have seen over the years that you've been directing is that a lot of homeschool children who the only contact they have with people their own age is the theater that you provide.
Right. And a lot of times that helps them because they can, move to a different education, as well as tagging on something you said earlier. A lot of the schools rehearse shows for a longer period of time. We put this together in about a month with 2 days practice a week. So you're looking at a lot less time and a summer that's fun-filled, right, guys?
Right.
But and you might say, well, how can you do that? Well, here's the secret. kids learn so much quicker than do adults. That's why I love to do shows, and I've done The Wizard of Oz several times, once with Robert. Kids not only learn their lines, and I was going back to something you said when you said that, you have more lines to learn, but I bet if you think back at other shows you've done, you not only knew your lines, you knew everybody's lines. And kids are that way. They learn everything about the play. I mean, I've had children say to me before, "You've missed a line."
Oh yeah,
or you missed a word in a line, because they know. They're like sponges. They learn so quickly, and they learn all their lines, so that you could take any child in the play and say, "Dorothy's sick tonight and can't play the role," and you could tap any kid in the play and say, "You're Dorothy tonight," and they say, "Okay."
Yes, the kids know all the lines. That's why we're trying to teach them to use their improvisational skills when something is different, or something that changes, or someone doesn't say their line, and they know.
I can guarantee you that you could not do that with an adult. I mean, they would they'd fall on the floor and say, "Oh, no, Robert, I couldn't possibly do that. No, I don't know the lines." But that's what makes it's so much fun working with kids, because they don't have that fear of, "Oh, I got to learn lines." It just right. happens. So that's really cool. That's really great. Now tell us about the run of the show, because you have two different casts.
Right.
So how many? You must have had a lot of kids audition.
We had. I was capped it at 25, and we ended up with about 29 kids, and so we used all of them. We do have two casts, and they each get 5 shows. We run from Friday through Saturday, through Sunday this weekend, and there's a show Friday night, 2 shows on Saturday, and 2 shows on Sunday, and we're going to do the same thing the following weekend. It goes through the 31st.
And how long is the show?
The show's about an hour and maybe about 15-20 minutes.
And so you can bring probably kids from 5 up.
Absolutely. It's a lot of fun. Don't you think, Matthew? It's a lot of fun for everybody. They can go on our website and get tickets at onstagesc.com.
And how much are the tickets?
They're only $5 for kids under 12, and adults are $8.
It's easy to find. How do you find where a lot of people don't know where you're at, so tell them where you are.
We are, if you go toward the airport on I-26, take a left right on Highway 302. That's exit 113. Turn right, and we're right there off the interstate on the fringe road called Cherokee Lane.
And it's exit 13.
Exit 113.
Yeah, there you are, exit 113. Robert and kids, I thank you all so much for coming and sharing on Health, Wealth, and Happiness. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you back here tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
WGCV, WT86CT, KC Columbia, 620 AM, 96.3 and 105.1 FM.